Today, we're diving into something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but is actually happening right now. We're talking about AI that can learn, adapt, and get smarter, completely on its own. Let's get right into it. So just think about this for a second. What if an AI didn't need us to feed it massive amounts of data? An AI that could actually invent its own challenges, figure out how to solve them, and in doing so, literally evolve its own abilities? What would that even look like? Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get on the same page about what evolving even means for an AI. Then we're going to look at two incredible new frameworks. One is like a master and an apprentice. The other is more like a master conductor of an orchestra. After that, we'll explore what this all means for the future, and we'll wrap up by asking some really big questions about our role as creators in all of this. All right, so first things first. When we say an AI can evolve, what are we actually talking about? Obviously, it's not biology, but the underlying idea is surprisingly similar. So the whole idea here is continuous improvement that is both autonomous, meaning on its own, and iterative, meaning it happens in cycles. But honestly, the most important phrase is right there at the end, without needing human-labeled data. This is a huge, huge deal. It's basically breaking AI free from its biggest bottleneck, which has always been the slow, expensive process of humans having to teach it everything. Okay, so how does this actually work? Well, it all runs on this really clever self-reinforcing cycle. As you can see, an agent tries to do something. The system checks how well it did, and then its strategy gets an update. But here's the absolute genius part, step 4. The system then makes up a new, harder task. This creates this amazing upward spiral, just constantly pushing the AI to get better and better. Let's make this concrete with our first case study. It's a framework called Agent0, and the best way to think about it is like a relationship between a master and an apprentice. So Agent0's goal isn't just to solve one specific problem. No, it's much bigger than that. It's designed to get better at the process of learning itself. It's like a world-class athlete working with a trainer. They're not just playing the game, they're perfecting the training routine to make every single exercise more effective. Here's how it works. You have two agents locked in what the researchers call a symbiotic competition, which is a pretty cool name for it. You've got the master, which is the curriculum agent, and its whole job is to design harder and harder challenges. Then you have the apprentice, the executor agent, whose job is to solve them. As the apprentice gets smarter, the master has to get more creative and make even tougher tests, so they're always pushing each other to new heights. Okay, now for our second framework, which is called Puppeteer. If Agent0 is like a one-on-one training session, then Puppeteer is all about leading an entire orchestra. It's the master conductor. See, Puppeteer has a completely different goal. It's not trying to make one single agent better. Instead, it's trying to figure out the perfect way to make a whole team of specialized agents work together. It learns who to call on and when to call on them to solve a problem in the most efficient way possible. It's basically becoming an expert in organization and collaboration. This table just lays out the two different philosophies so perfectly. Just look at the structure row. Agent0 is this fixed two-agent pair, while Puppeteer is a dynamic, shifting team. And that totally ties into their focus, right? Agent0 is all about improving the learning algorithm for one individual, while Puppeteer is focused on improving the organization of the entire team. The outcome is the real takeaway. One makes a stronger player, the other creates a perfectly coordinated team. So, we have these two incredibly powerful approaches. But what does it all mean? What's the real-world impact when AI can actually evolve itself? Well, the results are staggering. Just look at this chart for Agent0. It boosted the AI's math reasoning ability by 18% and its general reasoning by a whopping 24%. These are not small tweaks, okay? This is a fundamental leap in capability. And remember the craziest part, it did all this without a single piece of human-labeled data. So the really crucial thing to understand is that we're seeing all these major breakthroughs happening at the same time. We're shattering the data bottlenecks, which is huge. We're making AI way more efficient, and we're giving it the ability to actually use tools, which gives it real power to solve problems out in the world. This kind of power, of course, brings us to some pretty profound questions. As these systems get more and more autonomous, what is our role? Where do we, the people who created them, fit into this new picture? The source material draws a really important line in the sand here. No matter how mind-bogglingly complex these systems get, they are still, at their core, the result of optimizable algorithms.
And that is fundamentally completely different from the non-computable, subjective nature of human consciousness. It's algorithmic complexity versus lived experience. This leads to this really fascinating idea of viewing AI evolution as a secondary creation. It's not a new life form, it's an extension of our own minds, our own intellect. And if you look at it that way, it suggests that this places an even bigger responsibility on us, a responsibility of stewardship. We become the guardians of this incredibly powerful technology.
And that stewardship isn't just a vague idea. It comes with some pretty clear guiding principles. We have to make sure these systems are built to serve human well-being and justice. We have to be advocates for fairness and protect the most vulnerable people from any unintended consequences. And, maybe most importantly, we have to stay humble and always remember that human value is something that can never, ever be measured by processing power.
And all of this leaves us with one final critical question to chew on. As we build these AIs that can evolve all by themselves, who is guiding that evolution? For now, at least, the answer is still us. And that's a responsibility we're thinking long and hard about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.